The Indian Express, 30th of October 2023, an expert describes China's Belt and Road Initiative, the project, its goals, and its current status after 10 years. The BRI has failed, forcing several nations to become China's economic slaves. President Xi Jinping unveiled the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, China's grandiose infrastructure finance project, 10 years ago this year. With billion-dollar investments spanning from Africa to Asia, it has also faced criticism over time about the sustainability of these debts. Professor Gulshan Sachdeva of Jawaharlal Nehru University's Center for European Studies and Jean Monnet Center of Excellence coordinator outlines some of the project's main features and current status. What was the BRI's original concept, and how did its objectives change over time? When President Xi Jinping visited Kazakhstan in 2013, he unveiled the Silk Road Economic Belt. The goal of the Belt Plan was to resurrect several infrastructure and trade routes connecting Asia and Europe. The initiative's fundamental component was connectivity across entire Asia. President Xi then unveiled the road, a seaport infrastructure. China would be connected to Southeast Asia, Europe, and Africa with this maritime road. Building ports, bridges, industrial corridors, and other infrastructure across Southeast Asia and the Indian Ocean has been the main priority. These programs were known together as the One Belt One Road Initiative, OBOR. It has mainly been referred to as the BRI since 2015. The original foundation of the BRI consisted of 5 pillars: 1. Financial integration, 2. Infrastructural connectivity, 3. Commerce, 4. Policy coordination, and 5. People-to-people links. Afterwards, industrial cooperation, the 6th principle, was also included. China essentially sought to address 2 main issues: capital excess and industry overcapacity, through the BRI. It also had to do with expanding Chinese political power across larger areas. The World Bank calculated that $575 billion had been invested in BRI projects, including energy-related ones, between 2013 and 2018. Before this, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, predicted that the BRI investment projects would add $1 trillion in funding between 2017 and 2027. 3 BRI forums have taken place in China in 2017, 2019, and 2023. Leaders worldwide attended these events in large numbers, which resulted in the signing of multiple agreements at each conference. The Chinese government announced that over 150 nations and 30 international organizations had embraced the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, at the initiative's 10th anniversary. Additionally, it was stated that 3,000 BRI projects worth $1 trillion are presently being processed worldwide. The plan initially called for the construction of 6 international economic corridors: EC, the China-Pakistan EC, CPEC, the New Eurasia Land Bridge, the China-Central Asia-West Asia EC, the China-Mongolia-Russia EC, and the Bangladesh-China-India-Myanmar, BCIM, EC. The second BRI Forum 2019 unveiled a list of 35 significant projects and routes. Even if they are not taking part in the initiative, all major economies are impacted by the numerous BRI projects implemented in almost every region of the globe. While some African nations have applauded the proposal, others, including the United States and India, have charged China with debt trap diplomacy, which aims to seize the nation's assets in the event that they are unable to repay the loans. What is its current status? Infrastructure construction is never risk-free. There will be numerous failures and success stories with every significant endeavor, like the BRI, which consists of thousands of infrastructure projects. India was the first to draw attention to problems with the BRI project's viability, lack of transparency, and debt trap. Later, similar concerns were also voiced by the US and the EU. Nonetheless, the Global South still has a severe infrastructural deficit. Thus, despite the criticism, many developing nations in Asia, Africa, and Latin America find the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, appealing. A significant part has been played by solid strategic financial support from China. The state of the economy is far worse now than it was 10 years ago. The Chinese are now aware of certain flaws. They have already begun discussing the creation of clean, green, and open corridors and how these initiatives relate to the Sustainable Development Goals. However, some of the projects might not be able to get funding if they adhere to these guidelines. A smaller number of heads of state attended the most recent BRI forum, which took place in Beijing earlier this month, than at prior gatherings. Has there been some reduction of the early enthusiasm? Over the past 10 years, every participant in the BRI initiatives has gained knowledge. The US has been more critical of the BRI because of geopolitical difficulties. Initially, European authorities had a favorable view of the BRI. But recently, doubts and concerns about Beijing's aims and how many projects are being carried out have grown. These changing opinions align with the EU's evaluation of its ties to China. Since Italy was the only G7 nation to have formally joined the program, its current concerns about the project and potential exit from the BRI would be considered a significant loss. What level of development has been seen in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC? From the start, the CPEC has been a premier BRI project. Pakistan is currently experiencing a particularly challenging political and economic period. But Pakistan is unlikely to pull out of the CPEC, even if some analysts suggest that the projects could cause long-term financial issues. China-Pakistan's all-weather strategic cooperation and bilateral free trade pact revolve around the $60 billion CPEC. The CPEC consists primarily of energy-related projects. The Gwadar port and the road and rail infrastructure comprise the remaining projects. There has been some development: the Lahore Orange Line Metro, the Haveli and Thakat segment of the Karakoram Highway Phase 2, and the Sukur-Multan part of the Peshawar-Karachi motorway are now operating. Numerous energy projects, such as the coal-fired Shah-e-Val, Port Qasim, and hub plants, are now in operation. It is now possible that some CPEC projects will be expanded to Afghanistan. How is the BRI seen in India? Since 2013, India's stance on the BRI has essentially not changed. India has been wary of the BRI from the start, primarily because of concerns over sovereignty because the CPEC passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Pak, and the geopolitical ramifications of projects in the Indian Ocean. China's growing trade, investments, and energy transfer have made the Indian Ocean increasingly crucial to the country. It began extending its reach over the neighboring countries of India by investing in several ports in Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar. The ease with which commercial ports could be transformed for military purposes has alarmed analysts and policymakers in India. China has already significantly increased its economic footprint in South Asia and the region surrounding India. Furthermore, various unfavorable occurrences in the broader India-China relationship, trade imbalance, border conflicts, etc., have also impacted India's opinions toward the BRI. India has not endorsed the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, nor participated in any BRI forum. However, it has been an active member of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, based in China, since its establishment. The two primary funding and investment avenues for the BRI are the AIIB and the Silk Road Fund, SRF. India has become the agency's largest market, with roughly $10 billion in borrowing, or nearly 20% of all loans made by AIIB. Many in the West have noted the current slowdown in the Chinese economy. Is this going to affect BRI projects? The story of China's unceasing rise became commonplace to the world for a considerable time. The Chinese economy in 2019 grew 42 times faster than in 1980. China has also significantly contributed to global growth over the past 15 years. Going out through the BRI was supposed to provide the economy an additional boost as it developed. The BRI plan previously included a portion of a growth slowdown. However, the present geopolitical tensions that have led to the US, Europe, and many other countries taking decoupling or de-risking measures to lessen their economic reliance on China might hurt both the Chinese economy and the Belt and Road Initiative extension. China will need to rethink some BRI projects in light of these developments. In what ways do these matters affect Xi's reputation as the leader of the Chinese State and Communist Party, currently serving his third term in office? The BRI is without a doubt President Xi's most ambitious foreign policy initiative. He referred to it as the project of the century in 2017. It is a component of his long-term vision of China ruling the world. While encountering opposition, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has garnered significant diplomatic and geopolitical power for China in the global south. Regarding infrastructure investments, the West is still trying to devise a substitute for the BRI. China is currently re-evaluating its goals in light of a complex geopolitical and economic environment, focusing on shifting toward more environmentally friendly and modestly sized development initiatives. The success of these BRIs will determine the fate of other large-scale diplomatic and economic initiatives spearheaded by China. such as the Global Development and Security Initiative,